Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Bonsignore from Sing Play Studios in Nashville, and today we're looking at page 8 and page 9 in my Home is Where the Heart Is book 1, and we're talking about C position, playing in C position. So let's go over this. Our thumbs in piano are number 1, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In my right hand, I'm going to wiggle my pointer finger or my second finger, and I'm going to place it between the two black notes, sort of in the center of my keyboard. And I'm going to play that note, and that note is a D. D. Now all the other fingers get their own white note, and they fall naturally onto C position. C, D, E, F, G. So play that with me. Ready? And C, D, E, F, G. Notice how the notes that we're looking at, the first note, the C, is on a line, right? And then the next note is in between the lines, it's on a space. And then the next one, line, space, line. All right, let's play the scale, the 5-note scale, going up and coming down. And C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. One more time. Ready? And C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. And I do sing along to everything, and I encourage my students to sing along, because not only are you going to become a better singer, but you're going to train your ear to hear those harmonies. And if you're a bass or a tenor, or you have a really low voice, just sing down the octave, or down 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're singing down here. Okay. Now, the right hand is playing in what we call the treble clef, and that's the treble clef symbol. So this is the line we are going to start with. We're also counting in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 in every measure. So the first note is a middle C. 1, 2. 1, 2. Those types of notes are actually called half notes, or in South Africa and England, we call them minims. They have 2 beats in them. So let's count that. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. In the next measure, we have 2 quarter notes and then another half note, or 2 crotchets and then another minim. So a quarter note has 1 beat in it, and the whole line will sound like this. C, 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 C. Next line's the same. C, 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 C. Then we move up to a D. D, 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 D. Last line. C, D, and C. 2, 3, 4. That very last note, that middle C, has 4 beats in it, and it is called a whole note or a semi-breve. Okay, so let's do the whole piece one more time, playing the treble clef in our right hand on C position. Ready, and C, 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 C. Next line, C, 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 C. Next line, D, 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 D. Last line, C and D and C. 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we're going to look at our left hand, which is in the bass clef. Now, part 1, there are no notes written in, only these little rectangular little boxes that that are actually rests, okay? So every measure has a little rest in it, but for now, I want you to look at those shapes. So in the left hand, the easiest way to find C position, we wiggle our 4th finger, we put it down on the D, which is the note between the 2 black notes, that's your D, and every other finger falls naturally onto C position. So in our left hand, we have C, D, E, F, G. Let's try that together. Ready? And C, D, E, F, G. Let's go up and down. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. All right, so C position. Remember, your thumb is number 1. So my C is actually my 5th finger, and my G is my thumb. And when I play them together, we are creating the interval of a 5th, or to be more specific, a perfect 5th. And I will get into the quality of intervals in a later book, but for now I just want you to start thinking about perfect 5th. This is a perfect 5th. All right. And at the end of so many songs, we end on the harmony 5, 1, and that is called a perfect cadence. All right, so this is your 5th. And in book 1, when you see a little heart, I want you to think about playing a perfect 5th. When you see the star, you're going to play the G, which is your 5 harmony, okay? And then back to your heart, or the 1 chord, right? Or the C chord, or the tonic. There are so many different ways to think of that little heart, but home is where the heart is, and eventually your ear is going to tell you when to play the heart. All right. So, for now I want you to hold those hearts for 4 beats, which would make them whole notes. And then you're going to rest for 4. So the first line will sound like this. Ready? And heart, hold, 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 rest. 2, 3. Next line. Heart, hold, hold, and rest. 2, 3, 4. Then a star on your thumb. Hold and rest. 2, 3, 4. Last line. Heart and star and heart. 2, 3, 4. So in that last line we have half notes. A half note and then another half note and a whole note. 2, 3, 4. All right, now I suggest you practice hands separately for a while until you are totally comfortable trying to put this hands together. And when you're ready, it is going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 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 D, 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 C, D, C, 2, 3, 4. Good. We're going to get to part 2 in just a moment. But for now, I want you to think about how there are 5 lines in the treble clef and 5 lines in the bass clef. And all the notes are either on one of those lines or in between the lines, which we call the note on the space. So here's my 5-note scale in my right hand. C, D, E, F, G. And some of the notes are on a line and some are on a space. C in my right hand is on a line. Line, space, line, space, line. And then in my left hand, that C is in a space. So going up the scale will look like this. Space, line, space, line, space. All right. Now look what happens when I play these two together. My little finger is on a space and my thumb is on a space, and it looks like this when I play them together. All right, so now we're ready to look at page 9, which is playing in C position part 2, and it's just that. Where you see that first heart, you're also going to see my perfect 5th as whole notes, a C and a G. So let's just play the left hand, the bass clef. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heart, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Heart, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3. Then we have a star, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4, heart and star and heart, 2, 3, 4. Good. So it's exactly the same as page 8, except we're looking at the notes this time. Let's play it hands together. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 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 C. Next line. C, 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 C. Third line. D, 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 D. Last line. C and D and C. 2, 3, 4. So that's it. Playing in C position, part 1 and part 2. Remember, everyone is different. If it takes you a couple of days or a couple of weeks to even put that hands together, that is totally fine. You need to go at your own pace. But the more you play, the better you're going to get. I'll see you at the next lesson.